Nothing says you care like crypto.
I've always wanted the family dynamic of having a mom and a dad in one household. And when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer.
Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
Wasn't she the one who filed for divorce? And she's on TV crying?
Like, share, and subscribe for more great Angry Guy content. And turn on notifications to never miss another Angry Guy video ever again. Now let's begin. Women are regretting divorce, and it's going to change society. Today we're looking at a bunch of videos of women now regretting leaving their husbands, crying on social media, and we're going to look at the implications of how that's going to affect women, men, and society going forward. Don't forget to follow us over on Rumble. Our Rumble is linked in the description of the video. And we'll go ahead and jump right into the video after a message from Angry's Crypto Academy. Don't forget to check out Angry's Crypto Academy. Learn to protect your wealth with crypto, buy, sell, trade, and invest like a pro. Discover the next millionaire making coins. Linked in the description. And now let's go ahead and jump right into the videos.
I'm very well balanced emotionally, but I'm having a really hard time with the end of my marriage. Missing the person who was my best friend for the last 12 years. Just know that a simple, "Hey, how are you doing?" message does wonders. Sending them a funny TikTok, a funny reel, a funny meme does so many wonders. Just check in on them. You know what they say, check in on your strong friends.
This woman was in a good relationship with a good man who was always there for her, and she still decided to go ahead and leave him, and now she wants her husband back. Because most women, they can have the perfect guy, but they meet some stranger, and they suddenly think, oh, there's something better for me out there, and then they go out there searching for something that does not actually exist. And I will put it out there, no one should feel sorry for these people. They made their beds, and now they need to lay in them. Now let's jump to the next video.
Do women regret leaving men? Absolutely. But not all women. These are the women who regret it. And usually it's the women who have gone off and had affairs, because that is the wrong way to deal with the problems. If your husband is ignoring you, if your husband is constantly fighting with you, whatever the reason, turning to seek solace with someone else doesn't actually solve the problem. And then what women typically tend to do, because they're far more emotional than men, when they start an affair, the dopamine kicks in and they imagine they're in love with this new man and they just want to be with him. So then they make the huge mistake. They don't properly think it through. Logic flies out the window. They decide they're going to leave their husband, and in their head they're moving on with the new man. But neither man is interested in that new scenario. So the husband may try to convince her to stay at first. She will then leave, anticipating that the new man is there waiting for her. And frequently he's not. He disappears. I've seen people where the day the woman left, the lover left, and the shock. So then there's a double whammy, because the wife is left thinking, what do I do now? And she doesn't even know what she wants.
And what this woman said is such an important nugget of information. The woman does not even know what the heck she wants. She basically leaves her husband for the new lover and then discovers that the new lover doesn't even want her. And before the dust even settles, like the day after the divorce, this dude is already gone. All right, that's why I said Chad and Tyrone are the same person. All right, the streets were calling out to her. She went to the streets. and she messed around and found out. But you know what? When a man gets divorced from a woman and a woman does something like this, a lot of times it can end up working out for him because then he can move on, find someone who does appreciate him, or he walks away entirely and focuses on himself, his relationship with God, getting his money through things like crypto, and he ends up becoming wealthy as a result. And that's what more men have to do.
So that takes time to settle down. By the time she's processed her emotions and realised what a huge mistake she's made, her husband's not ready to forgive her. Plus, in that scenario, they haven't actually focused and dealt with the issues in the relationship which caused it to break down in the first place. So, yes, women do regret leaving their husbands, but it's usually the ones who are shopping for something better. The ones who leave their husbands because they're abusive, because they're addictive, because the husbands have had affairs, because basically they've been treated like a doormat. No, they don't regret it. They have a huge sense of relief. But the ones who throw away something good when a rocky patch hits because they anticipate they're moving on and up, typically that goes very badly wrong.
Now, this woman speaks with a lot of wisdom, but you have to ask yourself, where did she acquire such wisdom? And the honest truth is that she may know these things simply because she's lived this, because she was the woman in the relationship who left her husband because, she thought there was more for her out there. The only thing that a woman is truly loyal to are her emotions, and wherever the wind blows, her emotions will go. Men operate by default using reasoning. So we process things using facts over feelings. Women process things using feelings over facts. So this is the reason why a woman will often get caught up believing the most delusional thing makes sense, because she is going to trust her feelings above all else. And no matter what you say or do, you will never be able to change her mind until everything has fallen apart in her life, usually, and now she's forced to look at things critically using the facts instead of her feelings. She's been listening to her feelings this entire time. They've completely destroyed her life. So now she really needs to figure out why the hell this happened. And she finally looks at the facts and she realized that she listened to her feelings misled her, and she destroyed her life and the lives of many other people, everyone ranging from her friends, her husband's life, her family, her children, everyone. This is something that women constantly do, and this is why so many men today are just done with it all and walking away.
Guys, we actually have an incredible sale happening right now over at Angry's Crypto Academy. Everything is 50% off. So definitely go and check it out before the sale ends. The Academy is linked in the description of this video.
And I had this physical trauma. I went off the fucking rails. It was terrible. And I was physically ill. And there's a link. They did a study at Johns Hopkins. It's called stress cardiomyopathy, which happens, and it's also called broken heart syndrome, and nobody really takes offense to that because it's what it is. And there's also studies of people that die 88 minutes apart, like the couple in Pennsylvania in 2012. They'd been together their whole lives, 57 years or something, and they died 88 minutes apart because they just couldn't live without the other person. And I think the hard part is that because I'd been with him for so long, since I was 18, for him to be in a relationship where he is in one and you can't figure it out in your mind. And then it felt like he had died. And I kept getting this sick feeling like he was gone and dead. And I almost wished he was dead because it was so shitty of him not to tell me. I almost wished he was dead because it was so shitty of him not to tell me.
Did he really have to tell you about his dating life? He no longer owes you any explanation.
And take me out there so that I'm trapped on a boat with him and his girlfriend on the phone. And then I find out she's at his house, and it's like everything in that house is mine, like that we got when we were married. And that she's been sleeping there. I had no idea. None.
Once again, It's honestly none of your business. You have a boyfriend. That should be your only concern now.
And I just feel like that was a bad way for me to find out. I wish I'd had more gradual way to get to it, because I felt humiliated, embarrassed, stupid.
So this woman divorced her husband because she believed that there was someone or something better for her out there, waiting for her out there in the streets. She goes off, gets a bunch of money from the relationship, you know, goes and spends, and now she's in a relationship with Chad or Tyrone, but she's missing her husband because Mr. Chad, Mr. Tyrone, they're not there for her. They're not going to be in the bed with her at night when she's alone, when she's scared, when there's a noise or a knock at the door. They're out of the street. They're too busy out in the streets. They're not going to help her. They're not going to support her financially, psychologically. They're not going to be there for her. They are not her real partner. They do not love her. They do not care about her. So now her husband moves on. He finds a girlfriend. He gets himself a girlfriend. Even though she has a boyfriend, she left him for said boyfriend, and now she's pissed off that he's moved on, that he's now dating someone else, that he has someone sleeping with him at night, that he has someone going out with him, and she finds it to be unfair because he should have given her time to heal before he moved on so quickly, even though she had moved on immediately and left him because she believed there was something better for her out there. So women believe that no matter what happens, you will always be their property after they leave you. That's the reason why they want to continue extracting wealth and resources from you indefinitely over the course of your life through alimony or the child supports or child support or the family court and divorce court system. This is how women think and operate.
Old, ugly, because I think she's like 30, and like typical, right? And I honestly, I've been in shock for 4 days. And he's like, well, get over it. You do it. And it's like, you have what? This is traumatizing. And I just acted so badly and did all the things you're not supposed to do. And I have blocked him, and I'm not, he's like, let's be friends. I'm like, I'm gonna be fucking friends with you. Not now. Not right now. And then I find out, I'm like, did she come here with you when you were looking at this boat? No. Well, of course she was there for 3 weeks. They spent like 20 grand there, at least, when he couldn't give me any spousal support. Which, talk about red flags. Like, these were from the minute I met him. And I just loved him so much and didn't think anything. Like, I can't see my relationship from the outside.
Wouldn't give me any spousal support. So she left her husband for the streets for Mr. Chad or Mr. Tyrone, or maybe both of them. And now she's pissed off because he's moved on with his life. And when he says, well, you did the exact same thing, you went and you found someone else. So I went and I found someone else. And her response is, no, don't even go there. Don't even go there. I loved you. All right. You're now a completely different person than when I met you. In other words, when I met you, you were a simp, and you're supposed to be a simp, and you're supposed to be there for the rest of my life to provide for me and give me everything that I want and everything that I need. A lot of these women are now getting old. They're getting much older. They have no one to turn to and they have no one to fall back on. The interesting thing is that someone like her, she likely had her parents over the course of her life to be there for her. Her parents may have now passed away, or they're very old and can no longer help her. Although a lot of the times they still are. A lot of times these women, they still have their parents helping them if their parents have the means in old age. But for so many of them, like, she looks like she's in her 50s right now, maybe even pushing 60. She's not going to be in the greatest of positions because her parents are likely in their 70s or even in their 80s. So she does not really have a lot going. All right. She does not have people to turn to. So now she needs her husband, because what ends up happening for a woman is that with a woman, her husband replaces her parents. Her husband basically becomes the person that takes care of her and gives her that support that her parents would give her, both the emotional, financial, everything that she needs, she gets from her husband. And women basically undervalued men, and these are the consequences that they are now paying for this. And there's really no recourse for them. Younger women have it even worse, because a lot of younger women, they will not have that family unit to fall back on the way that a lot of these older women did, because a lot of their parents don't have that kind of money to go and support them for the rest of their lives. So it's so many older women, especially millennial, like older millennial women and Gen X women, they are cooked right now. But yeah, and even Gen Z women, they are really, really cooked.
Let me ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to buy, sell, and even day trade crypto for a living. Plus, we alert you to new crypto trends so you can profit before everyone else even knows what's happening. Right now, I've just published an exclusive investment guide inside the Academy, and it's linked in the description below. In it, I reveal the one coin that could make you a millionaire. A coin so revolutionary, it could change everything. If you missed out on Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is your second chance. This isn't just about financial freedom, it's about survival. When the system collapses and everyone else is selling, you'll be the one buying, prepared to weather the storm and thrive while others struggle to survive. Don't wait. This knowledge isn't optional, it's critical. The link's in the description. Go check it out now.
I've just been crying every day because of it, because I miss him. I miss his company. We've had so much fun together. He's a great person. Because right now it just sucks, and probably because I just know what a great person he is and how well he treated me in our whole marriage, our whole relationship, that I know he loved me. I don't know if people ever talk about how a separation is so much harder when nothing bad necessarily happened. I say this because my husband and I, after almost 12 years together, have decided amicably to separate, to divorce, and nothing necessarily juicy happened. There was nothing like dramatic, no cheating, no sort of abuse, no nothing. Like, it's just, we realized we both want different things in life. We've been together since we were 21 years old, and we're not the same people that we were when we first met. And so,
In other words, she outgrew her husband, and she moved on. She graduated from that relationship, just like Tia. Just was it Tia? I think it was Tia. Just like Tia basically said that she graduated from her relationship with Corey Hardwick. I mean, Corey, the guy she was married to, was the kind of man that most women are looking for. Dude is a millionaire. Dude is extremely famous, like very, very famous, very, very iconic for many of the shows he was in. He is a very handsome man. He is relatively tall. He was an excellent father. He was the perfect guy. She said it. He was a very good father. He gave her everything that she could want. She got bored in her marriage, believed that there was something better for her out there in the streets, and destroyed her marriage, destroyed her relationship with her sister, who, by the way, is also married to a very good man. But her sister, her twin sister at that, is completely different, as in she realized that, you know what, I'm going to make myself happy with this man. I'm going to find things I like about him, and I'm going to go with that. And it seems that they ended up having a massive falling out as a result of her sister trying to check her and tell her, you're not doing right. What you're doing is wrong. And what did Tia do? She was like, that's what most women do. If someone is not enabling them, they will basically shut you out and find people who will. And now she's crying all over social media because she's alone. She misses her husband. She wants her husband back, but she cannot get this man back. And they feel like these men become their property, which is the reason why it's so important that you never get married. Don't ever do it. Do not commit. Do not get married. You can date, you can don't really cohabitate, you can spend time together, but never make it official. Don't get married, don't have children with them. Do not, and always plan ahead, because they are always working some angle.
Our views for the future have definitely shifted over the last few years, and so we decided to separate, and it's been really hard. This isn't the first time. Like, we actually separated a couple of times throughout our relationship in the last 5 years. I actually feel so much more heartbroken this time around than those other times, that I don't know if anybody else has gone through something like this where you're both at peace, because we're so at peace. Like, we know it's for the best. Like, I deserve somebody who wants the same things that I want, and he deserves somebody that wants the same things that he wants. Like, we deserve better than what we are for each other, if that makes any sense. And so I just been crying every day because of it, because I miss him. I miss his company. We've had so much fun together. He's a great person. It's just, we want different things. And I just keep asking myself, like, would this be easier? Would it be easier for me if we had something turbulent happen to us? If we had, you know, a big cheating scandal or some type of abuse, like if he had abused me verbally or something like that, or me to him, or just realize, oh, he's trash. It's so much easier to move on, because right now it just sucks. And probably because I just know what a great person he is and how well he treated me in our whole marriage, our whole relationship, that I know he loved me and he loves me unconditionally. It's just the thought I've had, and I keep asking myself, like,
She is struggling to come to terms with accountability. Her actions were wicked. She basically threw away a relationship with someone who gave her everything, who invested in her, who treated her like a queen, who loved her unconditionally. No matter what she could ever do, he would not leave her. He would be there for her. They had lots of fun together. It was a wonderful relationship, but she came to the conclusion that there was still something better for her out there. She had a stable home. She had a roof over her head. She did not have to worry about food, about how to cover these expenses, how to survive. Is there, I'm lonely. I need someone to talk to. I Women always believe that there's someone or something waiting for them out there, and they don't understand the reality of it. In her situation, she probably thought that she could just hop online and find any guy that was going to jump into a relationship with her. She didn't comprehend that while she could find someone that's there for a quick hookup, the quality of men is completely different, especially at her age. She's no longer in her 20s. She's in her 30s. She's likely gained a lot of weight. She's gone through a variety of different things. So she has trauma from her experiences in life. She no longer has the optimism that she once had. And now she left behind the only person that actually really cared about her, would do more for her than even her parents. And now she has nothing. And she's like, he was such a good person, and maybe if there had been something in the relationship, maybe if he had been bad to me, maybe if there had been cheating, he had cheated on me, I could then use that to shift the blame onto him. But it's like, I'm the one who did it, but I don't want to take any accountability for being the one who did it. So now I'm just going to sit here and cry on social media, because women have been conditioned to accept that it will always be the man who's to blame, and they will always be bailed out of every bad decision that they've made. Guys, if you think you've missed the boat on Bitcoin, think again. The crypto world is exploding with new opportunities. And while Bitcoin has already made its millionaires, there's still a chance for you to get in early on the next big wave. I've put together an exclusive guide on 4 altcoins that could change the game and change your financial future. These aren't just hype coins. These are real projects with groundbreaking technology and massive upside potential. This is your chance to get in before they hit the mainstream. But listen, crypto isn't just about getting rich, it's about freedom. Freedom from traditional banks, freedom from government controlled money, and freedom to take back control of your life. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy. When you join the academy, you'll learn everything you need to know about cryptocurrency, how to buy, sell, and trade the right way, how to spot the coins that can truly take off, and how to use crypto to achieve real economic freedom. And here's the best part. When you subscribe, you'll get a free copy of my crypto blueprint. This is packed with valuable tips and strategies to help you get started, and it's yours just for joining. The link is in the description below. Don't wait around and miss another opportunity like Bitcoin. Those who act now will be the ones who win big. So if you're ready to take back control of your finances and start your journey to freedom, join Angry's Crypto Academy today. Let's make it happen.
A woman shared her regrets about not working harder to save her marriage now that her ex-husband is happily remarried. The 41-year-old woman shared to the True Off My Chest subreddit that she left her husband around 10 years ago, shortly after they'd had their first child together. According to this woman, there were no major issues in the marriage. She was a stay-at-home mom and had her husband wrapped around her finger. He did whatever she said, and she burned him out. When he grew tired of her demands, she started threatening divorce. She thought she was still a great catch and that she could do better than her husband, so she left. She ended up getting joint custody of her son and the house after the divorce. Now, 10 years later, the ex-husband is happily remarried with a baby daughter and a new house. The divorced woman, on the other hand, has been unmarried ever since. She's jealous of her ex-husband's new wife, saying, "She took my husband, she took my kid, she took my life that was once mine, and now I live in an empty house." She claims she is alone and miserable and wishes she would have been a better wife 10 years ago so she wouldn't be in this situation. As you can probably imagine, not many people were very sympathetic towards this woman. "You got what you deserved and he got what he deserved," one Redditor commented. Others noted that the new wife didn't take anything from her, with one saying, "You gave it away."
Now, there was a very interesting observation that I saw related to the comments on this video, because I checked out the comments on this video when I was, compiling these videos to put together for you. And there were comments from women and simps saying that this entire thing read like some male fan fiction, like some fan fiction written by a man. And because no woman is going to say that she regrets leaving her husband and that she actually has any regrets for this. The reality is that this is something that men are just cooking up. Guys, women will double down into what they've done. Women will tell other women to do exactly what I've done. I destroyed my life. I ruined my relationship. Go and do exactly what I did. I'm so happy right now. Blah, 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 blah. Notice that it's very, very different. This is the reason why I tell a lot of y'all who don't want to listen, I tell you to get out of here. Just leave. Because if you don't want to listen, then you're going to end up having to deal with the consequences. And don't make me wait. And I don't want to waste my time on your stupidity. Because men will tell other men, do not do what I did. Women will tell other women, do exactly what I did. Because while men actively do not want other men to go and repeat their mistakes, they internally, we don't want others to suffer the way we have suffered because we know better. Women will tell other women to go and do exactly what they did because misery loves company. And by bringing other women down with them, they can then use that to validate their own bad decisions because now they have company.
He is, moving up in his career and I am staying stagnant, and that is frustrating. And then finally, when my daughter turned 2 and I came back to the United States after, living in Mexico for such a long time, and offered a a bigger position in a production company, and I took it. It was the first time that I was away from her, and working a full-time job, and I loved it. I really enjoyed that, and I realized that I can't be just a stay-at-home mom, and it's important for me to work, and that gives me joy as well. But when it came to like being able to travel for work, I was never available for that. Because I didn't want to leave my daughter. My daughter's also autistic, so I try to limit these drastic changes in her life as much as possible, and I've been the one constant factor, so I can't just like up and go for a couple weeks or a couple of days even. And I know that's been my choice and whatnot, but yeah, there is resentment there when he can and he does and I don't. And again, I know that that's my choice. Now, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to be able to work. Even now, I have my own company, and I've decided to have my own company to give me the flexibility of being the mother that I want to be, but also having the career that I want to have. And it's not like I don't, I don't. H right now is in Miami, then he's going to go to Mexico, and then, he goes to Jamaica, and he goes all over the place. And I don't because I don't want to disrupt my kid's life.
So she made the decision to go and leave her husband. She made the decision to walk away from that relationship. And now she wants to punish her husband, and she resents him for the fact that he's moved on with his life and he's traveling around the world. He's going to other countries and he's making the best of the situation. And don't have any doubt, she took whatever she could from the relationship. She took the child from the relationship. She got everything, and yet everything is still not good enough for her. And she's gone down the path of being a boss babe, but she's moaning and groaning about the fact that it's hard to be a boss babe. It's hard to do all of these things. It's hard to balance all of these things on her own. But she made that choice, and she acknowledges that she made that choice, but she resents her husband for the choices that he's making because he's thriving while she's struggling. Do you understand how women think? Guys, this is the reason why I say that red pill is no longer good enough. It was never good enough. Red pill just opened your eyes to understanding that women were not the way that we were raised to believe that they are, and you do not think the ways that we were raised to believe that they think they are. However, red pill is still too close to simp. It really is. To fully understand the way that women think and operate requires the black pill. The black pill takes a much darker look at the reality around us. And by taking the black pill, you are able to then better understand how women think, how women operate, and how to react accordingly to the way that they think and to the way that they actually operate. The red pill is not sufficient. You need the black pill. And unfortunately, with the black pill, the black pill is called a black pill for a reason, because it opens you up to the darknesses of the world and shows you just how dark the world is and just how dark some people actually think is. But you have to know these things so that you can survive. And for those of you that don't want to, well, then listen, hey man, go watch Sesame Street, or go live in your blue pill fantasy. Go become a PUA. I don't care. And get the heck up out of here. But for those of you that want to survive and thrive, then take this time to take the black pill.
So lately I've been seeing more and more videos of people getting on the internet and talking about the reasons why they divorced their partner. And then what they would do is when they get on here and they do the story time, they tend to always say the bad things that person did in the relationship. But you never see them talk about the things that they did that played a part in the relationship not working out. The ones that would low-key piss me off the most are the ones where the woman would get on here and say, I divorced the good guy. And they will talk about the guy being good, like he was a provider, he was emotionally intelligent, he gave them a safe space to express themselves emotionally. He was there for them in every single way. And then they would give a reason as to why they divorced the guy, and it'll be the dumbest fucking reason you can think of. And the reason will be something along the lines like, I just felt like we weren't right for each other anymore. Like, some of y'all take vows of getting married and don't take these vows seriously to begin with. At the slightest inconvenience, or if anything happens that doesn't fit y'all narrative or what you want anymore, you don't want to be with somebody. More than likely, the real reason why they wanted to leave these guys, good guys tend to be looked at as being boring because they're safe. They provide you a safe environment for you to thrive in. But a lot of y'all want chaos. Y'all consider chaos to be excitement. At the end of it all, I just hope these good guys actually find someone that appreciates them in the long run.
And that's one of the reasons why I've increasingly said that the future for men is overseas. I made a video almost 10 years ago called Men Leaving the West, where I predicted that men would eventually begin leaving Western society and going overseas to start new lives and develop new relationships, because there is nothing for us in Western society. I've had idiots in my comments who are like, I'm not going anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere. I'm going to stay and fight. This is foolishness. You're not going to find anyone there are some good women in Western society, but for every one good woman, there are 10 good men chasing her. And it's very hard to actually know if you have a good woman, because they will change it up on you after 20 or 30 years. Okay, so many men were with these wonderful women, these perfect women, and then after 20 years of marriage, 30 years of marriage, 50 years of marriage, she suddenly changed one day and completely got rid of the relationship. And it's like, how the heck did this happen? I don't get it. Well, the reason why is because you were looking at things from a blue pill lens. Well, no, I was paying attention. When would she have been able to do this? When would she have been able to cheat on me? Was she even, when you were at work, bro. When you were at work, when she said she was going to go and get her hair done, when she said that she was going to go visit her friends, when she said she was going to go visit family. Okay? Hell, when she said she was on the way to the doctor's office. No, that's not true. We would text all the time. We would text back and forth. I know everywhere she is. Blah, 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 blah. Bro, she was fooling you and deceiving you. We talk around the clock. Bro, she was likely talking to you on the phone while she was with the other dude and being intimate with the other dude. All right? She'll tell you something like she's in the bathroom, give her 1 sec, and she's just like getting out of the shower. Bro, she's with her dude. She's with her dude, and you're there like a fool, and she has you wrapped around her finger, manipulating you and giving you a false sense of security so that you're going to continue bringing in that bread and keeping a roof over her head and subsidizing her while she's also subsidizing some other man.
Guys, I just want to tell you a little bit about the Crypto Trading for Dummies blueprint. With this blueprint, you'll learn how crypto day trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small. Imagine making $30 a day with $100, or even hundreds daily trading small amounts. Working just an hour a day. It's written so simply that even a 5th grader can do it. With banks collapsing and the economy in chaos, this skill is your lifeline. Click the link in the description to check it out now.
We went home that night. We didn't speak. He slept on the couch. I woke up and went to work the next day. Came home. He was playing PlayStation that night. I sat next to him. We hadn't talked in 24 hours. And I said, can we talk about what happened yesterday? And he was just playing, just looking straight ahead. And he was like, what's to talk about? In my mind, I'm thinking, it's our last ditch effort to steer the ship around, you know? And I was like, so what are we gonna do? And he just kept playing, and he was like, I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. He had done things within that 24 hours. He had opened up the filing folder of his single man life and went ahead and got all the shit done.
Yeah. I know I can't be the only one seeing these videos of these middle-aged white women crying on the internet after they forcibly divorced their husband. The husband, it came out of left field for him. She's like, I need to find myself. I gave up so much to love you and da-da-da-da. He ain't cheat or nothing. She just over the relationship. And then, bro, here be the craziest part. She'll hop back on the internet crying dating is hard. And I saw one yesterday that was she was dating a guy for 6 weeks heavy, and he realized, and they mutually agreed that this relationship wasn't good for them, but she had so much fun, so she was crying. I watched another one where a lady, these are all middle-aged white ladies, where she was like, I initiated the divorce, but now he's doing good and I feel terrible. And there was another one where, again, he didn't cheat or anything. She just felt like she deserved better, and she divorced him, and he gave her the house, but you know, when you give someone the house in a divorce, they have to start paying for it. She didn't get the alimony or child support that she thought she would. She was trying to figure out how she was going to pay for the house and all that. People don't know, like, usually in divorce, if you do it the correct way, the man can not have responsibility for the house but give it to her, even if it has a lot of equity, which is the part that hits men in the chest. Like, damn, I've been paying on this house for fucking 15 years. I got $250,000 of equity. But the thing that the wife runs into is paying the mortgage if she doesn't have a job. But in this case, she was like trying to struggle to figure out how to pay the mortgage, and he had gave it up. She didn't want to sell it, so she was all emotional. And then, long story short, like, he pulled up in a new truck or some shit, and she was breaking down like, how dare you buy a new truck instead of helping me keep this house? And then in the end, they're all like crying on camera, wishing they never got a divorce. Bro, if I were one of y'all, I would just, I swear to God, I got too much pride. I would never admit that I've made that big of a mistake. I would just shut up. I would just suffer in silence.
The court notified me that my final decree of divorce has been approved by the judge. I know that it sucks being alone. I come home and I'm alone. I go everywhere alone. I don't hardly talk to him anymore. I don't blame him. I filed for the divorce. So I'm sure people are wondering, well, you filed. Why are you so upset? Why are you crying? Just because you make a decision that you think is going to end up making things better doesn't mean that you have to give up the fact that you love that person or that you did it because you were trying or whatever. I've never met anybody like him, and I've never loved anybody like him either, but I don't want a divorce. I still am very much in love with my husband.
She believed that there was something or someone better for her out there. Rather, someone better for her out there. She felt that she had outgrown the relationship. She very well may have cheated on him. You'd be surprised that a lot of the time you have these women who are in their 40s, 50s, or even 60s, and they're stepping out on the relationship. They've done it many times over the years, and finally they can't they can't do it anymore. They say, I can no longer be with this man. Yes, this man is a great man. Yes, this man is a kind man. Yes, this man has given me everything I could possibly ever want, and then some. But now everything is boring. I have everything I want. I have everything I need. I can't ask for any more, and yet I want more, because the only things that will ever make a woman happy are more and something else. And as a result of that, they leave their husbands believing that they're going to find someone or something better out there. They don't, and a lot of times it happens even before the divorce is finalized. The guy that they thought that was going to be with them turns around and says, yeah, this is like, miss me with that. I wasn't actually with you because I wanted to be with you. I was just with you because I wanted to be physically intimate with you. And now those guys are gone. The woman realizes that she screwed up. She wants to mend the relationship and, go back to the husband until she can head back to the streets. And a lot of times these women will basically say things like, I made a mistake. I made the mistake of going back to him, and I should never have done it because I should have listened to my intuition all along. Blah, 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 blah. And they'll double down. So it's like these men are so lucky because women never really learn. She was never yours. It was just your turn. It was your turn to be in a relationship with her until she moved on to the next one. I've said this many times that a woman plans her divorce before she plans her wedding. She plans her exit from the relationship before she plans her entrance. And that is the way that most women think and operate. The idea that you're going to find yourself in the Walter or a unicorn, I like the way that I think it was Coach Greg Adams put it. He said, if that's what you think, then go ahead and, roll the dice and see how that works out for you.
Divorced, and I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids, and I just got lonely and bored. And she says that when she would bring it up, like, he would take her out, but it was just boring to her. Like, she needed some excitement in her life. She just felt like she was just a mom and a wife, and her husband just wasn't doing that for her. And she had other friends that had, boyfriends, or like they had just got married, and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, they had a big house, they had nice things, like he was just trying to work.
And that's what happens in so many of these relationships where you have good men who work very hard, who love their wives, love their kids, love their family, and the woman just gets bored. They have a nice big house. They have the white picket fence. They have the 2-car garage. They have the stupid little dog. They have it all. All right. They have made it. He takes her out on dates. He's still there. He's romantic. He checks in with her throughout the day. He's as available as he possibly can be. All he does is work and take care of his family, and that's still not enough because she wants excitement. She wants the streets. She wants to go to the club. She wants to do these things, and she doesn't comprehend that, bro, you're a mother. This is what it's like to be married. And, I'll tell you something right now. I had a friend, and when we talked, she said something along the lines of, our relationship is boring, our marriage is boring, but that's okay. And I'm thinking to myself, the fact that you find your relationship to be boring is the first indicator that you are never going to stay with your husband. You're just going in cycles right now. You're basically just playing along in the relationship, raising the children. But if you are bored raising children, having to be a mother, having to take care of your kids, if this stuff is boring to you, if going out on dates and enjoying life with your family is boring to you, I guarantee you it's not boring for your husband. He is busting his butt all the time to provide for you and those kids. He's trying to do this and this and this. So while it may not be exciting, it sure as hell is not boring. But no matter what, unless you're traveling around the world and hanging out with Julio and Don Juan, unless you're going for a walk in the park with Tyrone, you're not going to ever be happy, and you're always going to want to cycle through a variety of different guys that are going to give you that dopamine hit that you so crave. So now you find yourself with no one after you go and say that there's something better for me out there and get that divorce, and you realize that you screwed up because you can't even provide for yourself, but that man is long gone and he's moved on and found someone else because you didn't value him. And so many women make this mistake and then end up paying for it later on.
So they ended up getting divorced, and now, she's single, she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I fucking hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club. They just want to go to the bar. They just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it. She said, no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing? And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. She has 2 kids, and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her. Like, the girl doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom. They haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids. And she's pissed because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try.
And this is why, guys, I've told you the harsh truth that as men, we need black pill to fully understand women, because anyone listening to this would say, wait a minute, you left your husband, you can't find anyone, so you're out there dating, you've gone on many dates with a bunch of other men, and they're basically exactly what you said you wanted. You wanted guys who are going to be fun, but they're not really serious. They just want to have fun and go to the bar and the club all the time, but they're not planning to be providers and protectors or help you out or help you take care of your kids or provide stability. So you left your husband who was giving you all of those things, and now he's moved on, found someone whom he's giving those exact same things that you didn't want to someone else, and now you're pissed off with him because he's moved on and he was able to settle down and accept accept something, accept someone with all of their flaws for what they had. And the woman he's with now, she's not working. She's basically at home living the life that you used to have. And you're pissed off with him because he wasn't sitting around waiting for you to take him back. Do you guys this is and that's what all of these women say. Like, this is a very evil concept. It's a very, in other words, I will always own you. I will always own you. You will always be my property. You should always be there for me to extract wealth and resources from for the rest of your life. This is why it's so important for men to understand how women think, how women operate, and so they know when to walk away. You should not be jumping into a relationship with anyone in Western society at this point. You should be getting your bag, getting your money, getting the hell out of Western society and away from people who do not even like you. Because I'm telling you right off the bat, these people don't like us. They don't like us. They've never liked us, and they will never like us. They just want our attention. They just want our time. They just want our money, but they don't actually want us. And it's a sad situation, but it's a reality that you have to wake up to and accept.
Yeah, imagine being married, asking for a divorce for a specific reason, and then regretting that shit later. Okay, so there was this woman on TikTok who made a video about her friend. So her and her friend went out recently, and her friend was married for 11 years to a man that she thought they were going to be together forever and ever and ever, because they were just a super cute couple. They had a really good dynamic, and they got along really well and never had crazy issues, right? But she's now divorced and has been divorced for 3 years. And so she asks her, like, oh, like, why did you end up, getting divorced? And she said, well, I am the one who asked for the divorce because I got bored. She said the relationship got really boring. She was a stay-at-home mom. All he did was work. And they were well off. So this guy is putting in a lot of hours and a lot of, work time, so that way they can live the comfortable life they were living. Okay? He paying all the bills. So she said she got bored always being home, taking care of the kids, and not really having them time or doing like spontaneous fun stuff. Well, she would tell him about it, and he would try to take her out and try to do stuff, but it just felt like it wasn't enough, and it wasn't the same for her that, like it used to be when you're in a fresh relationship. What up, bitch? It's been 11 years. Spice it up. You do something. Anyway, so she asked for a divorce. He gave it to her, and she's been dating for these past 3 years, and so she asks her, how's it been? How's the dating life been? Okay. And she tells her, honestly, it's been trash. It was fun at first, but now it's not fun because I'm looking for something serious now, and no guys want to take shit serious. All they want to do is have fun, right? Club, bar, let's go out, let's do this, let's travel, let's do that. It's always go, and that is what she wanted in the beginning, but that's not what she wants now, 3 years later, right? So now she's like, I want to get serious with someone, and I want someone to help me with my kids and help me, and I don't fucking know. She wanted to be a stay-at-home mom again, okay? What she wanted was her old life that she chose to give up for some fun, temporary fun at that, right? So she left this good-ass man for bullshit just to regret it. And he has been now in a relationship for 2 years of the 3 years they've been divorced. So a year he took to himself, then he found someone, and he's been with that person for 2 years. She is now moved in. She is now living the life that this woman once was living.
So basically, guys, you've seen that it's just one story after another story after another story. All of these women have the same damn story where they thought that there was something better out there for them. They thought that there was someone waiting for them that was going to provide them with more happiness, more excitement. But then they go out to the streets and they mess around. They find out they want their husbands back, but their husbands have since moved on. And what do? They learn absolutely nothing. They basically blame the man for basically giving them exactly what they asked for, but not sitting around and waiting for them to come back so that they can continue extracting wealth, resources, and value. Guys, these are not these people who are doing this. They are not good people. That's the definition of an evil person. You have no empathy or consideration for anyone else, and you believe that men were just put here to serve you. How can you treat another human being so poorly? And yet that's the way women treat men. And it's hard. That's why I said it's so hard, but that's why we need the black pill. The red pill, it served its purpose. It opened your eyes to realizing that there was something more, but now you need the black pill to just see exactly just how dark things really are.
I just came to the realization that, like, if you're 40 years old, you're you're never gonna find love like, oh my God.
Like, oh my God. Well, yeah, if you're over 40 and you still act and talk like you're in high school, the men you want are gonna be like,
you need to mature. You need to become an adult.
Sorry, I woke up like really, really emotional because I was married for, oh my God, I need to stop. I was married for over 20 years and like, I was so used to being a wife. Like
Married for over 20 years. So a guy thinks that he has an DeWalt. He thinks everything is going great in the relationship. They have extraordinary stability. They're happy together. And then one day she wakes up and realizes that there's more for her out there and that she deserves this and that she needs to leave this marriage. Let me tell you something about a woman. They like to tell you that they've been thinking that it just happened suddenly. No, she had been thinking about this from the very moment that she met that guy. All right? She was in a good relationship. She was in a very happy relationship. Most women, when they break up with a man, they've already psychologically broken up with him years earlier, sometimes decades earlier, and they were just in that relationship using him to survive. But they didn't actually consider themselves, like, for example, she did not consider this man her husband anymore. He still thinks that that's his wife, and she will allow him to believe that she's still his wife, but they are not in a relationship. And guys, it's unfortunate. And most of us as men, we don't comprehend these things because we end up thinking that women are special and women are perfect, and that women rationalize the way that we do as men, but we don't comprehend how they actually think. It has taken me a long time to fully understand and to begin to understand the way that women think and the way that men think, and it's very, very different. Women process things using feelings, men process things using facts. That's not to say that there are not men who can be all up in their feelings, and there are not women who are not very factual. But at our core, men are fact based, and women are fact based, and women are feelings based. And no matter what you say, the only thing that a woman is loyal to are her feelings, and wherever the wind blows, her feelings will go. It took me guys, I had no one to teach me these things. It took pain, suffering, experiences to finally comprehend these things, and learning from other men as well. The experiences of other men who shared their stories with me so that I could learn from them so that I don't have to do what they have done. Many of you are like, I was talking to Wally, and Wally says like, man, I don't know how you're so wise. And people don't comprehend this. I say it to you guys, but you guys don't seem to understand. Smart men learn from their own mistakes and experiences. Wise men learn from their own mistakes, experiences, as well as the mistakes and experiences of other men. So you find other men. You have the internet, and you learn from their mistakes. You learn from their experiences. You can see it in the lives of your fathers who've had divorces. And you know exactly why your father got a divorce. You know exactly how your mother behaved and how your father and how your mother treated him. And reality is, you may not like him, but you realize your mother is no saint. You know these things. So you have to learn from the experiences of other men. Learn from their mistakes and learn from their experiences, even if you don't like them, so that you do not repeat the exact same things over again. That is how you gain wisdom.
I loved being married, like I love being a wife. I love having like that one person I love coming home to and like venting all my to.
So basically, you didn't actually love your husband, you just loved having an emotional dumpster that paid your bills. Yep, crap like this is why we stopped marrying you lovely ladies.
And now it's like, yeah, you date people and like sparks fly, and then it's just like, oh, I found better,
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you operate on a deregulated dating market. Everybody's looking for the bigger, better deal. That's probably what you were looking for when you divorced your husband. But see, what you failed to consider, though, is that a divorced woman in her 40s is not the bigger, better deal that the men you want are looking for.
You have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting.
These are the consequences of people who've spent their entire lives not taking any accountability for the decisions they've made and being bailed out of every bad decision that they've made. At the end of the day, no matter how much they try to dodge accountability, they will eventually find consequences. All right? And that's what women are experiencing now. They chose to push these men away. They chose to get rid of good men. They chose this life. They messed around and now they are finding out. Women chose this for themselves and now they have to live with the painful choices that they've made as a result of saying that they wanted more. Because that's how women operate. Women will always want more. More and something else are the only things that will ever make a woman truly happy. I told you guys that when we started off in the manosphere, we ended up having phases. We had we had the beginning, all right? We had the middle, and now we are at the conclusion, all right? We had the beginning phase where people were trying to figure out what was going on. All right, what was going on? Why were women behaving this way? Then we had the solutions phase where men started coming up with solutions for fixing the problem, and they came up with things like MGTOW. They came up with MWA, men walking away. They came up with passport kings. They came up with soft guy era, and now we're at the conclusion phase where these solutions have been put into place, and now men are moving on from women, and we're focusing on the things that we enjoy, such as finance, video games, and the things that actually make us happy. And women don't even realize this, that men are walking away and moving on beyond them. Let me know your thoughts, guys, about everything we covered in this video. Women regretting divorce. And I mean, are you surprised that so many women are now regretting leaving their husbands? And do you guys agree that it's only going to be much worse in the future? Come 2030, half of all women, roughly 45% of all women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be childless and single. And when you factor in single mothers, you're looking at around anywhere from 60 to 70% of all women being single in the US, not having a man. So basically around almost 3/4 of women, up to 3/4 of women, will have no husband, no provider, and be looking to the state to completely subsidize their living. Guys, it's going to be an absolute nightmare out there. Tent cities are going to be packed. The shelters are going to be packed. Women are going to end up in extraordinary states of poverty and destitution, and women around the world are going to look to the United States and other developed countries like the US and ask, how did these women in these first world countries end up in such poor condition? And of course, they're going to try to blame the men, but it won't matter because the men have left. One of the things that, an old friend of mine said, he's a person that was around from the very beginning of MGTOW. And when I say MGTOW, I'm not talking about modern MGTOW. I'm talking about from back before, like, there was this thing called MGTOW 1.0, going back to the early 2000s. He was around from back then. And he said something very, very interesting. He said that when men leave, it's like if you look at a chicken coop. When look at how the chickens react when the rooster flies away. They start to henpeck one another. So what you're going to actually end up having is women turning on one another after men basically abandon society, because they've pushed men out of society. They've been going off on men, pushing men out of society for decades, out of the education system, out of the workforce, out of the gyms, out of the bookstores, out of the parks, out of society, all right? Even online spaces. So now they've pushed men, and men are basically flying away, all right? Avoiding them and disappearing. Men are disappearing from society and staying home, or outright leaving the country. And now women don't know what to do because they don't want these men, but they need these men, and they're screwed. So now they're going to face the consequences for their actions that they themselves have created for themselves. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto. crypto.